Welcome to the Jefatona podcast. I am your host, Delilah D. This is the place where women can explore what it means to be successful without leaving any part of themselves or their culture behind. In each episode, we talk ambition, we talk expression, and evolution on our own terms. Baby, it is time to get into the episode. All right, ladies, I am so excited to have the internet's favorite rich auntie who's just be in her own little world, who's just be enjoying the fine things in life, who's just be building her little career, no, her big career. That baby girl, Carla.
Hi. Hi, y'all. Gang, gang. Pew, pew.
Look, I am so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
Carla, I mean, I know we've known each other for a few years now.
Yeah.
Through mutual friends. And I mean, just being able to see you just grow into the person that you are today. I'm excited to share your story. Everything from not just entrepreneurship, but...
Right, I'm like, let's get ready now.
For those that are listening, she's already starting to pat or like dab her eyes. She's like, all right.
Lashes.
Look, I'm not going to lie. Preparing for today's interview, like even when I was in the shower, I was like going over what I wanted to talk about, and I was already getting emotional.
Oof.
I was already like, I was tearing up in the shower, and I'm like,
'Cause you know.
I know. So I'm just like, no, I think today, I mean, I've always looked at you as a legend. I've always looked at you as just someone that has so much value to offer to the world. So I'm excited for you to share your story. I'm excited for you to be on this platform, but especially in this current era of your life, because you transitioned so much.
Yo. Oh my gosh, thank you. I appreciate that, but also likewise.
Yeah.
You've been a chameleon, quite the butterfly, like going through this great metamorphosis. So I'm proud of us both.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, the whole theme of this Jefatona podcast is evolution. So talking about evolution through all of our different periods in our lives. But first things first, I do want to start off with, I know you worked with major media brands, right?
Yeah.
So some of the biggest globally recognized outlets out there.
Honey.
So what was it like, going from like, yes, I work for this place, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, to like taking that leap and, to fully invest into yourself and your business 100%?
Bro. So it was very scary. So a little back context for people. I have a degree in English. I minored in journalism. And when I was in college, I thought, I wanted to be this journalist. I wanted to tell stories. Like, that was just my thing. And then I forget what news station I was watching. They were talking about international journalists. And they got their heads chopped off. And I was like, bro, I know my head's big, but like... I want to keep it. So that's not going to work.
Oh my God.
So I was like, you got to figure out something. And I was just taking like odd end jobs. Like my first job out of college, gratefully was 3 months after I graduated, was writing medical policies for like the Department of Social Services in Brooklyn. Okay. Like it was just so odd. But I was like, that's not where my heart is. And funny enough, I was just looking around. I got an internship with my two homegirls. I'm always going to shout them out. My two girls, Delilah and Ayana, from Non-Corporate Girls. Those are my babies.
Yes, I love that. And you still work with them even afterwards.
Yeah,
so we'll get into that. But
like those are my girls. Like every time I talk about my story, I'm like, I'm always going to tell the story from where they came in and help me out like immensely. So I interned with them. And then after that, like for a little while, one of them was like, hey, like, a colleague of ours needs someone to come do summer jam social media for Hot 97. I was like, bro, what? I said, stop playing. I was like, you want me to? I was like, I don't even know. Like, I haven't talked to celebrities like that in a setting. So I was like, okay. I did it for 2 summers, had a blast. And then during that time, I had, in between all of that, it was like I got offered a job in 2 different companies. It was either work for them or work for the notable Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, which was super dope. And I was like, oh, this is a tough decision. I went with Alvin Ailey. Crazy enough, I worked there for about a year. But in between all of that, I was still like, this is cool. I like working in social. I like doing this. And I worked at other larger companies. And then I realized I was like, I can do all of this, but also do it for my community. So when the pandemic hit, I was still like kind of in between jobs. And I went to my mom during the pandemic in our dining room table. I went to her at the dining room table. I'll never forget it. I was like, Mom, listen, something in my spirit is telling me to start a business. I'm believing it full faith, like whatever is to come is to come. And I'm just asking for you to invest in me, and I promise you'll get it back tenfold. And she's like, whatever you need, like, I got you.
Shout out to
my mom.
Oh
Okay.
My God.
That's my 8-spoon coon. So she is incredible. So she bought me my first like big like iMac computer. I think it cost at that time like $2,000. So I was like, okay. I set up my stuff. I got like a bookkeeper, someone to formulate my LLC. And there we were. That was 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. But even in between that, I was still trying to work with the large businesses because I still needed like money, like to build what I was doing. But at the same time, I still wanted to have my projects. So I was using that as a security blanket. And then I just started to realize from experiences, things that I learned, and then just also like things that I didn't want to experience or bring them to my own business. I was like, I could do this myself. And I need to just trust myself. And I remember there's a quote that always sticks with me every time I need to make a big decision. And it says, the greatest form of transportation is a leap of faith.
Oh.
And I was like, oh.
I just got chills right now. I just rolled up. For those that are listening, I just rolled up in like basically a fetal position right now.
Right. So I remember seeing that quote and I just let it sit with me for a while. And I was like, it's okay to take this leap. And I did that. And ever since, I really just haven't looked back. So I've been very grateful to do it.
Well, one shout out to Mama Bear. Yes! She plays a huge role into the birth of Karen Digital.
She does. That's my girl. Okay. Love her down.
So what's been your favorite milestone so far since you took this leap of faith?
Ooh, honestly, I mean, mine is the money. No, I'm kidding. No, it's honestly not. It's less about the money. I think that's such a plus. But I think the biggest milestone is seeing the small businesses I've supported and like helping them get to their own like big goals. Like funny enough, right before I got here, the one brand I was working with, when we started out last year, it was just like a rebrand. It was doing like some soft things and, you know, changing up the marketing scheme to the point where this brand had the opportunity to actually go to Africa at the end of last year.
Wow.
And I was just like, how did we even get here? This was just a conversation. It was just an idea. It was just me pitching myself to them like in a meeting, like, hey, you know, I believe like we could do this together. And here we are now. And they have a big surprise coming in Q3. Q2. I can't say what just yet, but.
What's the company so people know to follow for the big
surprise? My gosh.
You
guys need to go follow Doso Beauty. I actually have their hair in right now.
Yes.
Okay. You need to go follow them. They are Black owned, actually Philly based, which is fire.
Oh, wow.
The founders from Philly. Like, it's amazing. But all that to say that I've been able to watch not just the founder of that business, but other businesses really just go full throttle with their dreams. That's been the biggest blessing I've seen. Yeah.
Wow. So for those that don't know, what type of services does Karen Digital provide?
Okay. So actually, before I even get into services, I'll back up.
Okay.
So Karen Digital, but I always get Karen.
Yeah.
People say both.
Okay.
I don't even mind. No, I don't even care. But people say both.
No,
we should care.
The name, yeah.
But
when people say Jefatona, I'm like, it's Jefa.
See, now I didn't even know that. I just learned something new.
It's Jefa.
Because it's the
Jefa?
J.
I'm like, no, it's Jefa.
Yeah, it's the J. You got to emphasize that's more like an H, period. Right. But, so Karen Digital is actually a play on my first name. Okay. So like the first half of my first name, first half of my middle name, and then the D is from my last name. So if you actually cut it down and just CD, it's also my initials.
Wow.
Right? How cool.
Ooh, smart.
Right. We did something
cool. For
those
that don't know, her name is Carla Renee. So it's cool.
It works out.
That. Yeah.
It works out. But so services I offer, particularly right now, is social media services. So anything from content creation, branding, like brand identity, like helping you choose out your font, your colorway, all that good stuff. And then on the flip side, I, like I said, do the branding stuff. And then if you need like event day services, I'm the person that'll be on the carpet. I'll follow you around. Yeah. I'll help you get like your sponsor content and things. So that's particularly the most like services I offer at this time. But yeah.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you. Thank you. I'm proud of us.
Okay, we talk business. Now we're going to go into personal. So again, for those of you, if you're a small business owner, even not a small business owner, anyone who's listening or looking for branding services to any capacity, feel free to hit up Carla. And even if you do like an initial consult, she is amazing. I definitely vouch for her 100%. I even just from social stuff I see you do. So not everything that you need for your business, like she's your girl. Yeah. But also don't judge the stuff we're about to share right now.
Y'all, I know you're listening, so I just want to let you know I'm like wiping like my edges so that I know they're laid right now, but they're about to get jacked up. I already feel it.
No, but it's a lot. It's a lot. You know, being like the first of your family that's doing something crazy, that's trying to create a new legacy, that's taking these leaps of faith. So facts. One thing I love about you is you're vulnerable by sharing like your journey in general. So like you going to therapy, you doing your fitness journey, you're dating, like all of that. Yes, so honey. Just, what is it like, building a business from scratch and then having to like heal and then having to, let's start with that first. Right. So just healing in general. Like what does that look for you as you're building your business?
I feel like it's, my gosh, it's so many things. I feel like it's a constant lesson for me because each time I get to a different space, I won't call it a level. It's just a space. I'm like, there's always the next thing to learn from what you just received in terms of a lesson. And that's been really big for me, even with my therapist, who I love so much. So I feel like when I have been in sessions with her, not that I necessarily like will take notes, but I'm like making a mental note, like, okay, this is what you did in this situation. How can you learn from it? And what are you going to do to approach it the next time? And also, how can you apply those practices in other areas of your life? So not that I'm a business, but I do think that we all are our own brands in our own respective way. So with that, I know there's like core documents you're supposed to have, like an executive summary and like, what's your all that, what's your value agreement, right? Like what's your value proposition? Yeah. And then I said to myself, I was like, a lot of brands are supposed to have standard operating procedures, but I said, so what does that look like for a human being? And I said, for me, it means like I need a standing operating procedure of like peace. What does that look like? Like, how do I get to a place where I'm zeroed in and I feel calm either at the end of the day or when I'm doing something new or when I'm scared? Like, what does that look like? How do I get back to that calm so then I can go do the next thing? So
I think it's so important. The reason why I want to emphasize that, especially because we do have a lot of people that are starting brands, that are starting businesses, that are the first in their family to do anything of that capacity. And understanding that your healing journey plays a part into even just like the success of your business, because realistically speaking, if we're not focused on ourselves as human beings and, how we're operating, like you said, like how we're showing up, when things go bad in our business, if we don't know how to handle certain situations, if we don't know how to handle certain curveballs, if things are triggering us, as the business owner, as you, that can reflect on your work and that can reflect on the people you work with and everything, to that sort. And I think it's so important because everyone wants to be successful, right? Right. Everyone wants to have a multi-million-dollar business. Everyone wants to, live that lavish lifestyle. But not a lot of people are understanding the importance of like peace of mind being the real bag.
Like that is the bag. That is the bag. That's the currency. Truthfully,
like, literally, because I've seen so many people that have have achieved amazing milestones financially, but professionally, all of that stuff, but they're still miserable. They still have a dark cloud over them. They can't genuinely enjoy their success. They're always looking to the next thing. but because like they just never feel satisfied.
Yes.
And I think it's so important, you know, for us, especially as women. Like as women, we already have a lot of things on our shoulders. Can we carry a lot of weight on our shoulders,
like,
on a day-to-day basis? But you know, this is something for like the ladies that are listening. I really want you to be mindful of how are you pouring into yourself as a person, on top of what you're pouring into a business. Like, because you are the most important person.
Yeah.
You know, your business can't thrive without you. Okay. And it's like, you know, you see this all the time. You know, business owners, celebrity, whatever. Like,
creatives.
Even Miss USA just stepped down because of mental health issues.
Yo, what?
Like, that was, Miss USA literally just made an announcement this week that she had to step down because of mental health issues. And a lot of people, again, you can achieve these levels of success, but if you're not, like, focusing on your healing journey, if you're not focusing on yourself mentally, it doesn't matter what blessings you get your way, because you're not going to appreciate it regardless, or you're not going to understand what to do with that. Yeah. So
listen, your health is wealth, and that is that is real.
For real. For real.
Oh my God.
One thing, just kind of like going on to like the health in general. You know, we're talking mental health. Yeah. You know, don't be afraid to go to therapy. Don't be afraid to talk to people within your circle. And physical health. And one thing I want to shout out Carla, and I shout, look,
here we go. I just want to let y'all know, I'm over here looking at Delilah, and she's over here snatched. I'm about to put out a PBA notice for the waistline because it's gone. Like, come on. I know she's not serious. Missing waistline. Like, hello.
We still got a little fupa, but it's okay. It's fine.
Okay. I'm out here like, pew, 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 pew. Where's it at?
Now you're making me blush. No. I would always say this. So I used to work for, it's so funny, I used to work for a fitness brand, and that I will joke around that I was at my biggest while I was working for a fitness brand, which was like, you know, such an oxymoron. But Carla, and I know I've said this to you like on IG, I've shouted you out too, but you actually play a huge role into me getting into my fitness journey.
Yo, I want y'all to see. I wish I could see that my jaw's on the floor. It's on the floor. They're gonna have to scrape it up.
No, because I remember, because you know the thing is, for that brand, you know, our niche community were like, you know, moms, overworked mom, busy mom. So like all of our marketing stuff was targeted towards that, right? But there's those of us who aren't moms, but who are like overworking ourselves, who are like sitting on a computer all day. Like, you know, we may not be chasing around kids all day, but the work that we do is tiring, and we have so much fatigue. Else. Yeah. So it's just like, you know, it may think like, oh, well, you don't have any kids, so like you don't know what tired looks like. Like, yo, having to be on back-to-back phone calls, having to be on conference, like having to lead, you know, so many certain things. I just know at the end of the day, because I used to be like locked into my laptop literally from sun up to sundown, barely move my body. But I remember I used to always, you know, watch your stories, and use the same thing with you. You used to be locked in all day, and then you started like, I need to move today. today. Yes. So you started like, okay, here's my day 1 of movement. Here's my day 2. So you used to go, I think you used to go to like the basement or something.
I was working in my mom's basement, and I was like on calls, and I would just literally get up from my chair and just start doing like crunches, or I was doing squats just from the chair. I was like, I don't even care if I'm in my pajamas right now. I was in like a muumuu, yo. Like I had a bonnet on. Like I look crazy, but I was just like, I just gotta move. Yeah. All you have to start, all you gotta do is just start. Yeah. That was it.
So that's one thing, because I'll watch this, I'm like, okay, go ahead, girl, heart, whatever. Yes. But I think it was like after like maybe day 20 or day, I'm like, let me start something. So I had started my 90 days of movement. So that's when I started, and I'm like, okay, Carla's doing it. I'm like, you know, and she understands what it's like to have the fatigue that we have, that's literally sitting all day and only get it like on our freaking laptops, working, locked in,
sometimes
only getting
not
up
even thinking up like to get up to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So you inspired me with that. So anyone who's been following me, like, no, I started my fitness journey with 90 days of fitness. So like, but it all started from you, because I saw you like, what was?
She's starting early, guys. I can't believe this.
So no, I want to point you out, because thank you. And I think it's so important again, like for us to, show up for ourselves, because us, the power of showing up for ourselves makes other people want to show up for themselves too. Mm-hmm. So you showing up for you made me want to like show up for me. And you had your own weight loss story too that you're still on as well. And like, I love watching your journey. Okay, like you showing your clothes, like, look, it's been big on me now.
I'm like, yo, I'm ready for hot girl summer. Megan, if you hear this, hey girl.
Yeah, hey girl. No, but what was what was your final straw? Like, what was your all right, I need to get up and start moving? Because we all have that moment.
So it was several pieces, and I feel like I think we're gonna kind of segue into it. So one was my fatigue from like overworking myself. Like I was just exhausted. It got to the point because I was living at home at the time. My mom would come downstairs like, it's 10:30 at night, and I have not seen you come upstairs. And she would be irritated with me like, you haven't spoken to me, you haven't done this, you haven't done that. And I realized it was coming from a place of concern. So like that was going on. And then interestingly enough, because it's his birthday month also. Right. So like the timing of this is absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
My dad was actually a part of it because unfortunately he passed. But right before he passed, he was telling me like, you need to get your house together, you need to do this, you need to do that. And the day he actually passed, it was like one of the first days I started working out.
Wow.
So I was like, yo, this is crazy. But it also cemented for me like how important, taking what your ancestors or people have given you as advice and living out what you need to do like for them, because he wasn't able to do it. So I was like, yo, all these things that were hereditary that are used to like big in our culture of diabetes, hypertension, all of that. I was like, it stops here. Like that's it. Like anything that I have going on, like for those who are listening, I also have like PCOS. So I was like, I'm not doing all the crazy things, the yo-yo stuff with like different pills and whatever. I said, I just need to figure out within myself first what's going on, and then I'll go and seek medical help. I still, would love to be in a doctor's office quite often, but I'm just like, I have to figure out within myself first, like what's going on? How can I then work on my health? And then, go from there. But that was probably maybe 2, 3, oh my gosh, maybe like almost 4 years ago that I was like, yo, like you need to get up and move. And it was just like slowly but surely. I would get on a streak for a couple weeks. I would sometimes fall off, but I was like, no, you got to get back.
Yeah.
Go on a streak, sometimes fall off. And then I got a trainer and I was like, oh girl, you getting serious. I was like, you kind of care about this. Like, you spending money on this? Like, it was one thing that you were paying for a gym membership, but you got a trainer? Like, who are you? So, like, I got a trainer. She was cool. Then I realized I was outgrowing her and, like, what I needed. And I was like, okay, you need to get back and figure out within yourself, what do you need to do every time you get in here? Like, are you facing a fear? Are you, getting over, like, a hump of, like, how many reps you're doing, the certain exercise you're doing? Like, it doesn't matter that the trainer is there. Like, it starts with you. Like, you need to go hard on yourself, and then you can start to ask for the help that you need. Yeah.
No, I mean, you've been doing it, and I'm proud of you. Because even, like, yo, this girl be checking in, even if it's like a 10 p.m. workout session or 11 p.m. She in her cute little bougie apartment complex, which we got. But she be in her little gym, and I'm like, go ahead, girl. But
it's a vibe. I love it.
Again, I just wanted to say, it was because of you. And it's crazy because, again, I was working for a fitness company but it was literally your stories that I'm like, because I felt like I resonated with you.
Yes.
I'm like, I feel like, okay, this is real. Like, and again, you're thinking, I need cute outfits. I need to get dressed up. I'm like, no, I need to move my body.
Yeah.
So, that's how my 90 Days movement started. Wow. And I had also read a book and they were talking about, again, just like building habits in general. Like, to build a habit, you have to do things like within like 60 or 70 days consecutively in order for a habit to be formed.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me just do 90 to push it a little bit. But yeah, I used to make sure I was intentional with working out every single day. Cause like you, like I yo-yoed throughout my entire life. Like my entire adult life, like I dealt with weight issues and weight insecurities, and I felt like I never felt positive about like myself and my body. And I'm like, I will like work out for like a month or two, and then I'll slack off, and then it's like I'm not working out for 4 or 5 months, and then start again. But I was always like, I want to lose 30 pounds in 3 days. Yo, like who don't sometimes? I know. So I had to remove all of that, and my whole thing is like, again, like I don't. even with my journey now, it's not setting any expectations. I'm like, yo, I just need to show up for me. That's it. The same way, like you said, it's like, I just need to show up. That's all.
And you're doing it. I just want to say, Delilah getting up and doing her like famous mantra, if you know, you know.
It is beautiful to have a beautiful day.
Yeah. If you know, you know. Her doing that and also staying key to her fitness also helped me start to do my daily devotionals every morning. So
iron sharpens iron, okay?
Yes, iron sharpens iron. Pew, pew. Oh, yes. But thank you so much.
No,
I appreciate that.
Of course. So even with that, like, let's go into some dating.
Yo, it's ghetto. It's ghetto. But okay, I'll be for real.
No, because your stories be cracking me up.
Yes.
When you talk about just these people, these sons out in here in these
somebody's
streets.
son. It ain't mine.
So, but I think what's beautiful though, because you've been on this journey, okay? So, you're running a successful business. You're in therapy. You're focused on your health. You're focused on your wealth. So it's just like you are a woman of a certain caliber. So you're just like, you're not going to just entertain any old thing.
No.
So do you feel like, is it so much harder to date, or is like, what is your experience in general? Like,
no, I feel like it was extremely hard. Yeah. I think it's also because I came from a space where when I was younger, I was in a long-term relationship, but also at that time, I was a young woman, and I also didn't know myself, and I also didn't have a lot of confidence in myself at that time. So I was just taking anything and just being like, okay, this person loves me, and whatever is going on in this situation, I will also deal with, but I also made mistakes at the same time. And here I am now, a little bit more mature, and I'm like, okay, you're doing all these things for yourself. You need to think about the caliber of man you want. Like, not even a boy. I want a man. A man. The kind of caliber of a man you want. And I realized, like, I would try to hang out with guys, and, my friends will tell you I'm very reserved. I sound kooky on this podcast, but if you meet me in person, I'm like the person that's at the back of the party just, like, vibing out, just chilling. But I came to a place where, and even, this is most recently, where I was like, you want to date so bad, but are you dateable? And I had to ask myself that. I'm like, well, how are you showing up to the table? You want someone to come to the table with all these different things for yourself, but like, have you done the work? And I feel like people say this all the time, like, you got to go do the work. You got to do this. You got to do that.
What's the work?
I'm like, there's no rule book, but also it's taking the opportunity to say, like, okay, girl, Delilah, Carla, what are you doing to make yourself like the woman that you need to be? And I remember one of my really good homegirls was like, she pulled my coattail years ago, and she was like, I need you to ask yourself who the woman you want to be is and how you want to show up. So with that, that's been a lot of my like thinking, and even who do I need my partner to be, and also how am I going to show up for them? So with that, I've kind of taken a break. I say that's sad. I've taken a break from like trying to actively seek out a partner. I realized that I come off very dominant because I know what I want. And everything I want, I go get. And if I don't go get it, I'm going to figure out a way to go get it and then get it again and again and again.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like I'm coming off too strong. And not that that's a bad thing, but I was just like, you need to let that person come to you however which way they need to show up. If it's by God, if it's by you walking into a grocery store, whatever it is, like, you need to just let that come to you. So all that said, I've learned to surrender to my process.
I think that's what, I mean, and I know it can't just be us, like, especially when you're a woman who is building something, right?
Yeah.
You naturally have this dominant energy because, like, you have to take control. You have to take control of your destiny or, like, your business and everything that's happening in your life. And it's hard. It's hard to release that control to someone when you're not even sure if they're going to be like your partner. And I think I've struggled with that with, people that I was talking to, because I mean, I know me, I'm a lover girl through and through, and I want to pour. I'm like, you see how I am with my friends. Like, you see how we are.
I just want to give.
Yeah, I just want to give. But then at the same time, when I start talking, I'm like, do we give ourselves like the way we normally do? Because they always say like, oh, stop doing wifey stuff when you're just a girlfriend. Like, stop doing wifey stuff.
No, I'm a nurturer. That's always me. I'm very much a nurturer. Like, what?
And I feel like I've just struggled because I'm like, do I come in like, okay, this is what I want, take it or leave it type thing, or do I just show up as like how I want to show up? I struggled with that because like, I do have a dominant side. I can admit to that, but at the same time, I have like this like submissive,
I want to be soft.
But it's just you're so scared to give that submissive side to someone who is not going to appreciate it. And it's hard.
It's hard, but I mean. Yes, listen, are there really nice gentlemen out there? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I have a crush or two?
Who you got a crush on?
Oh, God, I hope he doesn't see this.
Let me find out one of your neighbors, because you and your neighbors be kikiing it up.
I just want to say, y'all, my neighborhood, I always tell this joke to my homegirls. I have amenities, and then there's amenities, okay? There's amenities where I live. That's all I have to say, y'all.
That is hilarious.
No, like, I got a little crush or whatever, but I'm blushing. Hey, y'all, I have huge cheekbones, and like, I'm a brown-skinned girl. I'm red right now. But, like, I have a crush, but I've realized that I see where that person is, and I love the journey that they're on. I think he's doing an incredible job for himself. Yeah. Just like many of the other gentlemen I've met, they're doing an incredible job for themselves. And I may not be that person, but I'm happy to see that they're doing what they need to do to get to their person. And I realized, like, I'm doing what I need to do to get to my person, whether that's me and them, whether that's them and the next person. It's just like, I honor your journey and I can be in my own lane at the same time.
That's powerful because, and even just to share, like, just something about myself personally, someone that I was talking to recently, they're on their own journey too, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that, they respect me, they like me a lot, but we're not like on the same, like, we're not compatible right now.
Yeah.
But I do like this person a lot. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I do have to respect them where they're at in their journey because I know they're working towards to try to be like this best version of themselves.
Word.
So I think like, do you wait it out?
No.
Because, or no.
Yeah, like if it's meant to be, it'll be.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even, I have this thing with like having words of the year. So like last year for me was provision, like absolutely having things provided to me, or I figure out ways to provide for it. And I feel like this year my word is surrender.
Yeah.
Like I've been such a person that is quick to clench and hold on to something. Like, y'all, I'm literally squeezing my fist.
Yeah.
I'm always quick to like try to hold on to something or make something work or like, just try to do the most. And I'm like, you just have to
surrender,
release.
like things naturally. Yeah.
Yeah. You really
I
have
feel like
to.
I'm definitely in that space. I mean, I talk about surrendering all the time, and it's just so funny because just even bringing that up with the person in particular, I'm like, I know the feelings are there. I know it's organic. I know it's natural, but I just know they're also not ready for me yet.
Yeah.
So, and I had to accept that. And it's just like, but yeah, just surrendering that the right person who is ready for me.
Yo, they'll be there. They'll be on time. Like, that's what I've realized. Like, I got so hung up. Y'all, I just turned 30. So, like, I got so hung up on, like, a timeline.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, okay, I want to have this by 25. I want to have this by 27. I want to have this by this date. I want to make this kind of money by this time. I got so hung up on timelines. And then once I kind of accomplished those goals, here I am at 30, and I kind of halted myself. And I was like, okay, well, what are you going to do next? What's your next timeline? And I was like, the next timeline is just to live. Okay. Like, I need to just live.
Yeah.
Like, you've done all these things. You are allowing sometimes society to get in your head about, what's happening, what's going on. Like, I work in social media every day, but I make it a point to still figure out ways to disconnect myself so I can live and not feel so attached to someone's timeline on social and also just the timeline of everything else that's going on. So with that, I'm just like, if you just let things breathe, I promise you, it'll breathe life back into you. So
that's what. So what I've been saying a lot lately is like I'm literally just taking things day by day. Like, don't ask me what's happening a month from now. Don't ask me like what my goals are for a year from now, 5 years from now. Like, look, I'm literally just taking it day by day. Like, I want I'm in this space that I just want whatever God wants for me. Because
hello?
Like, we may have these plans and ideas, but what's crazy is whatever ideas and plans we have for ourselves, like, God's plan is so much
and he always
bigger.
laughs when we plan. He always laughs when we plan.
So that's why I'm literally like, I'm just taking things day by day.
I be thinking something gonna happen, and then God just pull my edges, and I'm like, girl, like, hold on. I'm like, hold on. I know you said that I said, yo, can you remove this? And you took away everything I was thinking I was supposed to have. Like, girl, what am I left with? This is crazy.
That is hilarious. I just had my edges pulled recently this last weekend, and it was just like,
same.
Yeah. So it's like, we gonna keep it moving and grooving.
We're gonna keep it moving. But we're gonna glue them edges back on.
Okay.
Can't be out here looking wild.
That's funny. So you got a crush in your apartment complex. Got it. Good.
No. Actually, yes, I do. Yeah. But also somewhere else.
No, what's funny is that I love watching, so Carla recently moved out of her house. Yes. She in her big girl apartment. It's been so nice to see you like build this sanctuary.
Yes, I call it the chateau.
The chateau. Yes. And she's been sharing her whole journey as she's been like, putting
just stuff together,
designing her stuff, her playing Bob the Builder, like,
yes.
And I love the community you have in your apartment complex.
And it's just like bar none. Yeah. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better community. And what's so funny is my brother is my neighbor, and so was his partner.
That is hilarious.
Yes.
Like, he literally lives right next door to you?
Not next door, but like we're in like neighboring buildings.
Okay.
So they're the reason I ended up moving, because I was so enthralled by the community that they had. I was like, this is fire. I love this. I want to be here. Not to be up under them. I mean, it's a plus.
Oh, of course.
But I was so in love with how they came together. Like last night, every other week, guys, we do like a wind down Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And this last Wednesday, we celebrated like all our May birthdays in our in our friend group. And it's like 60, 70 of us in a big group.
It's like a version of living single. Basically.
Yo, it's so cool. So like we all get together. Like someone has a birthday party this weekend. We're going to that. Someone's opening a business. Sometimes I co-work with some of them, and they also have businesses that they're doing their own thing. Some of them have even put me on to like opportunities. And equally, like, I've done the same thing back. But what I love is they're just genuine people, and it's just been very organic, and I want to change it for the well. I love my community there.
No, that's amazing. I mean, you know me, I emphasize on the power of community and friendships in general. So I love that you've been able to build new friendships with the community you have there, and also just talk friendships. Let's talk.
So we talked about my edges being snatched, and here we go again, guys.
We're on the topic of community, because again, I mean, we always joke around that whole saying like girls girl, like that's literally me. I can make friends with a tree. I just love supportive women, put a woman on. One thing I wanted to share, so I know one time I had posted on my close friends just, a heartbreak that I experienced. And, I touched on just a friendship heartbreak. And, and I know you DM'd me, sharing. I mean, we didn't get too in-depth about it, but we're getting more in-depth about it now.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about this because I feel like people don't talk about friendship breakups enough.
Yeah,
and people don't talk about, like, the grieving process you go through from a friendship breakup.
Yes.
And, I don't know if you want to just share about your story. Because, again, I love the community that you're in right now, the community you're building. You have so many different ecosystems of friends. But it's great. Like, we all have thriving friendships, but we also have those moments that, like, we really experience, like, a heartbreak from losing a friend.
I can actually talk about, like, one that I went through that, oh, my gosh, was probably maybe, like, what year are we in? 2024? Maybe like 7 years ago now, actually. I had like a really dope girl group from college. If they see this now, I just want to let them know I love you. No, but for real. It was just a level of like differences in, where we were, who I was cool with, who they weren't cool with. And I ended up finding out they were talking about me. And I was hurt. I think I was overreactive in the situation. I think if I were to go back and approach the situation differently, I would have really tried to have an in-depth conversation, but I was just so hurt and quick to cut off. And it sucked. For like over a year, I was just like, yo, I don't have like girl besties or a girl group or whatever. And I realize now, like, yo, it could have all just come down to, you know, a really helpful and healthy conversation. I wish those young ladies nothing but the best. And honestly, truly, I welcome a conversation now, like in the space that I'm in my life. Like, I think we were just all in different places, different mindsets. A lot of things are going on. We were in college and, you know, we were just different people. But now I'm just like, yo, like if I were to see them in the room, I'm not going to run up and hug, but I would just be like, you know what? Where we were then is not who we are now. And whatever you like to have in terms of a conversation, I'm open to it. I'm here for it. If you're not, that's okay. But I want to let you know that what happened then, I forgive myself. I forgive us. I forgive everyone who was involved, whatever the situation was. But the biggest thing is I had to forgive myself for the approaches that I took to it when I was very upset, but also forgive the situation because we were just different people in that lifetime.
I love the lack of self-awareness and, you know, just taking accountability in situations. A lot of times it's crazy that we don't even realize, and I mean, it could be anyone just like listening or watching in too, just like decisions we made, you know, really is the reason why our friendships ended and stuff.
And like I could have hurt somebody, but I wouldn't have known because I've reacted so quick to the fact that they were like doing what they were doing. I don't know the backstory. I don't know if it was like a cycle, like if it was cyclical, like there were things just mounting up and maybe I wasn't picking up on it and trying to really be a girl's girl at the time. Maybe I was like really messing up and I don't know that. But I hope in this lifetime that I get to either have a conversation or maybe some weird silver lining comes in and it's like, this is what happened and this is why that situation was the way it was and this is what you can learn from it now.
So you just like cut them off and
cut them off. I was just, and it was heartbreaking. It was really heartbreaking because some of them I was close to since like my freshman year in college. Like close. Like we were doing stuff together. We were taking trips together. I mean, everything. And it sucked. It really, really sucked because I just felt like I was out there. I had then probably maybe 6 or 7 months later had gotten in a car accident, nothing bad. But like one of them had heard about it, reached out to me, and I just didn't have it in me to really try to talk to them. Like I was just like, yo, thanks for reaching out. They had asked me something else and I just wasn't in the space to even try to entertain a conversation further about anything. So I wish them, like I said, I wish them love at this point. I hope they're all doing well. I hope they're all successful. They were incredible women, you know, bright, had incredible futures ahead of them, and I hope that's all happening for them now.
Why don't you reach out to them?
You know, I think maybe in this lifetime I will.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in a, like, now I think I will.
As you're talking about this,
I think I can.
It's beautiful that, again, you acknowledge like your role in that.
Yeah.
Acknowledge that, like, you know, things could have been different, even if you even gave them an opportunity to hear their side of the story.
Yeah.
Maybe like reach out and just be like, hey, let's have a conversation.
Girl,
like what exactly happened? Like ask, cause yo, that's the worst thing is when you're ghosted by someone you love, by your friend, by your best friend. Like, and I've been on the receiving end of that, and I'm about to get emotional right now. But
no. Ooh, hold the Delilah tears, y'all. Yeah, just hold it. We're in. But just know that what you feel is valid and what they do too is also valid, but it's an opportunity for us all to learn. You know what I mean? And it's like my grandmother's cousin used to say all the time, we don't all get to the same place at the same time. Yeah. And you just gotta meet people where they are for today, and if they meet you there, cool. If they don't, you hope you see them, you know, very soon.
Yeah, I remember, I forgot what book it was that I read. They talked about just like life's journey being like you're getting on a train. So you had to like visually, like the representation of when you get on a train, there's people that got on a train with you on the platform. Yeah. But as you're on your journey, some people get off at certain stops. Oof. Some people get on. Like not everyone makes it with you to the end, you know, to your final, whatever your final destination is. But doesn't mean they're any less than, doesn't mean they're, you know, they're bad, whatever. They just had to step off and to go on their own journeys.
Yo, to think this is about a train ride. That is
it's a train. It is, because like, yo, you get onto this train just when you visually think about it, and then you come in, you're going with your friends, whatever, but they have to get off on their stop. Yeah. And then, then you have new people to come in, and whatever, and then, some will come to them, but then they leave too, and then maybe, some of these other people will circle back and get back on the train with you.
Yo.
So it's just...
I'm going to never think about a train ride the same ever again, y'all. So now when I'm in New York and I'm on the A line.
On the train, like, yo, literally everyone has their own individual journeys, and it's crazy to think about that.
There's a word for that, and I can't remember what it is. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. That's so deep.
But I think you should reach out to your friends. I think...
Yeah, maybe it's time. It's been almost 10 years.
Wow.
It's been almost 10 years since like I've spoken to them. Like I said, I hope they're doing well, but maybe I'll like reach out.
Yeah, not maybe. I'm going to challenge you.
I should.
I'm going to challenge you.
She's going to check in with me, guys.
Yeah, we're going to do a follow-up episode. No, and I'm just saying that again, like, I mean, rightfully so, your feelings are validated. The fact, I mean, you heard something and they were talking about you. But regardless if you heard something or not, they are owed a conversation. And, I think this is for anyone listening, because I feel like we're so, as women, it's just so easy for us to cut people off. It's so easy.
And put a guard up.
Yeah. And like, look for any reason to be like, this person, doesn't care about me. This person, whatever that. But there's just so much power in communication. Mm-hmm. And even if the conversation doesn't happen the way you want it to be, like, at least have that conversation. And I'd say that as, someone being on the receiving end of being cut off and not knowing why I'm being cut off. So, and it's so, again, because do you know if it was true what they were saying about you? Do you know, validate? Like,
I think it was, there's truth. It's like my mom says, there's truth and there's facts. Mm-hmm. The truth is that, like, I was befriending someone else. I think the fact is that there was another person within that friend group that felt some kind of way about the whole situation, and perhaps how my other friendship was like flourishing and going on. So I think that's what it was. So, like I said, I'm hoping, we can get to a place where we talk about it. We could be big little women and move on. But if they're in a space where, like, you know what, this is not where I want to be. I don't want to have this relationship. I don't want to have this conversation. I'm okay with that because I came to peace with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, good for you.
Ooh, girl. Talk about it, it's still lifting like a weight off of me. Oh my gosh.
Just to talk about it, because again, it's so easy to be like, there's actually, hold on, I wanted to read something because I was reading about this on an article on Forbes. So, because it was about friendship breakups. So while we have rituals and formulas for processing the loss of a romantic breakup, when it comes to the end of friendships, we're left in our own grief. We don't know how to grieve friendship loss. So certain friendships can feel like threads in the fabric of our lives, anchor points to our memories, and can become synonymous with our identities at certain junctions. When we lose them, it can feel like we lose a part of ourselves. And, Dr. Kenneth Doka, who's the person who spoke on this, causes experience of disenfranchised grief, which cannot be openly acknowledged, socially mourned, or publicly supported. So, like, other examples are the loss of someone who was not blood related, loss of a limb, a job, etc. So it's like we can talk about, like, okay, this is what you do when you break up with your person, or this is what you do when
you lost a job.
You lost a job, or this is what you do when you lost a family member. But like, what do you do when you lost a friend? So it's just like, how do you? A lot of people, they grieve that silently, and they take that loss, and it's just like, again, it sucks when it's just like someone that you tied a part of your identity to, and it's just like
it stinks. It really stings.
It really sucks.
And you feel like, how do I pick up the pieces?
Yeah.
And I think it's like, it's you becoming like your own best friend all over again. Like you have to relearn yourself. Like what does that hug look like for you now? What does that reassurance look like for you now within you? And at that time, I'll say, speaking to that situation, it was a lot of me still figuring myself out because I was in my early 20s.
For sure.
I was trying to figure out like who I was. I was also in a relationship that wasn't that great. So I'm trying to find myself in that relationship. I'm trying to find myself in friendships. I'm trying to find myself in career, post college. I was just like like a compass like spinning all around, like just losing its mind, like not knowing where to go. And I realized I was like, the only thing that was staying true and not moving was the center of it all, and that was me. So like I had to really sit with myself and be like, how are you recentering yourself at this time? And each time it's like I've evolved into a new person. I won't say better, I won't say worse, but I just evolved. And each time it was just like that compass just, got bigger so that I can finally find my direction and where I needed to go.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I just want to emphasize on this again. I love that, you come from a different point of view. I come from a different one, but I think the most important thing of it all is like we're all humans. We all make mistakes. No one is perfect, and that's okay. And I feel like, anyone that's listening who may have experienced like a friendship loss or anything to that capacity, like what does it look like if you reach out to them? Like what does it look like if there's, if you communicate with them? And, especially if it's like one of those like losses where it just happened where it's really just like someone just canceled someone or just ghosted someone, like what happened? But no, I'm excited for you potentially that you are going to be reaching out.
Right? She's putting the onus on me. Okay, I'm gonna be a big little girl and reach out. Woo!
But just you never know. Again, I just believe in the power of community. I believe in the power. Like friendships are so important and they're so needed. And it's crazy because there was actually. Like I get so many DMs from girls, which is why like I'm actually doing different things for Jefatona, like expanding from just a party space and being intentional about the community building. Because I have so many girls that are always asking like, or they're always DMing me like, oh, I wish I had friends like you, or I don't know how to have friends, or I'm an adult woman, I don't know how to make friends. I don't know.
There's so many friend groups everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I just think like but a lot of times like friend groups it's okay when people grow apart because that does happen. It happens naturally because there's people that I used to be really close with, but we just kind of like naturally grew apart. No ill will, no anything. Life happens. That's fine. If I see you, I'm gonna give you a hug. Anything to that capacity, but just this is speaking specifically for those friends that that you lost, that that were your close friends, and especially if they were lost because of like lack of communication.
No facts. I feel you. Whew, ashe, man. Oh my God. Woo.
So what's one of the things you are most proud of when it comes to just you, Carla Renee?
One of the things I'm most proud of, how God is evolving me.
Ooh,
honestly, I think that's the biggest thing I'm proud of. We talked a little bit earlier about like surrendering, and I realized that we've talked about, Pastor Sarah Jake Roberts.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all, that is my homegirl. That's my best friend in my head. Okay?
Seriously,
that's my best friend in my head. But her husband, Pastor Teray Roberts, had a really great Bible study series, not series, but it's a part of the Potter's House. They have what's called Wednesday School. And in one of the series that they had, it was talking about like dating and like what you do before you say I do. And he talked specifically about, cutting everything off and just it being him and God. Just really being in relationship with God. And that has been such a huge thing for me in being at home. So one of the things I do, because, I live by myself at this time, on my fridge, I have these little like whiteboards, and I leave myself what I like to call love notes. So in those so I'll write myself love notes, and usually it's not like a planned thing, like, oh, I'm going to write one every day. I just let it come to me. So in that, like one of the love notes I wrote was something about the importance of just surrendering and being okay with that. And recently I just made a commitment to my relationship with God. And with that, for those who are religious, you're spiritual, it's really about really just coming to a place where you're okay with being with yourself. Yes. But for me, it's God. And with that, I've just seen how I have changed immensely from how I handle situations, how I even get up in the morning. Sometimes it's slow, but it's steady. I feel good about it. Even to like, I used to have like anxiety attacks or my back and everything. I would be like breaking out and like stressing out. it doesn't happen anymore. Like, or it's not in that same capacity. Like, I'm able to like really breathe through things. And that's because I just put him first. So yeah, here we are.
I think that's really important. And then again, just touching on the concept of surrendering. So it's beautiful to do love notes. It's beautiful to praise God when everything is going great. It's beautiful to just feel like life is grand, life is amazing. But surrendering means, again, and I want to emphasize this, I mentioned this earlier, is really trusting him even when things are not going your way. Yeah. Even when you feel like your entire world is falling apart. Even when you feel like, you have every reason to have doubt. You have every reason to feel like you're not valuable. You have every reason to feel like this just isn't it. Yeah. It's still trusting and believing in him.
And that's scary.
It is.
That's very, 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 very scary, y'all. Like, I'll be honest, like, there are parts and there are times when I'm sitting in my apartment and I'm thinking, like, how are you going to do what you did today tomorrow? Yeah. Like, how are bills getting paid?
That's real.
How are you keeping the lights on? Yeah. Are you choosing between eating a meal right now or eating a meal later? Are you choosing between doing this and doing that? Like, those kind of conversations I would have with myself. And sometimes people don't understand, like, that's happening in your house. That's happening in several people's houses. You see these, what I like to call, I don't want to call it a facade, but you see these images that show up online as people, and everything looks like a highlight reel. And I'm like, behind those highlight reels, there's somebody that might be broken, that might be, upset. They might be going through whatever. They may not have food on their table, but everything looks good on the outside. And I mean, that's fine. But I hope those people, just as much as I hope for those who are listening, come to a space where it's okay to not be okay, but also ask for help. It's okay to surrender to the help that you need. And it's also okay to be like, you know what? I'm going to put my hands up to this, but at the same time, like, I'm going to be fine.
It's so funny. I was actually just listening to a sermon from Sarah earlier today, and that was something she touched on as well. So, even though outwardly, a lot of people may not look like what they've been through, but inwardly, like, we look like what we've been through. So there's this whole thing of, we say we're just like, oh yeah, God got us, but do you really believe that God got you? Yeah. It's crazy how, because, that's real. Like, as you know, I recently quit everything. I'm literally pouring everything into Jefatona right now.
And so, go like, go you. Come on.
It's crazy because, like, I come from, making all this money that I was making from my multiple gigs, whatever, to now, like, I need to I'm only relying on the revenue from Jefatona to, like, to get by right now. So that's real. If I'm being honest, being transparent, I'm like, am I going to be able to pay this next month? Am I going to be able to pay that next month? Like, how much do I need to sell, tickets, or what do I need to get in sponsorships or whatever to be able to make it next month? But what's so crazy is that, like, I still feel covered. I still feel okay. Ooh, I still feel like I have, and this is what I'm saying, like, all I can do is just take it day by day. And like, I have and I've said this multiple times, even on my IG stories, like, I have no idea what's happening in my life right now. But it's happening. But it's happening, and I'm okay with it because, like, I feel like, again, since the moment I took this leap and just decided I'm going to fully pour into Jefatona, like, so many blessings have been happening back to back.
And they come in.
They're coming, and it's great, but it's at the same time, again, it's always like that. Every time when I feel like that insecurity, like, am I going to be able to pay this? And I'm like, nah, like, release, surrender. I'm like, God got you. Like, you got you. So it's really those moments. It's just real surrendering. Because going back to that sermon that Sarah has said, there's a lot of us, we have, it was talking about, like, disruptions, any the distraction, like, the enemy sole purpose in life is to distract you and to make you feel, to throw you off. God has a plan. God has a plan for everyone before you were even born. He has this major purpose for you. But the thing is, his plans never change for you. But what changes, like, the plans are you. So it's like, he's always had this big purpose for you. But the thing is, remember, the enemy's sole purpose is to throw you off, is to confuse you, is to put doubt in you. And these are things that, this poison that's embedded inside of us as little kids, as little girls, especially when we are people of color, especially when we are people that grow up in urban neighborhoods, especially when society's telling us we're not supposed to amount to anything or whatever. So it's so crazy that like when we grow up and we experience these distractions, we experience these, disruptions, it only feeds into that poison, thinking that we're not valuable, we're not gonna make it, we're not gonna be able to do it, we're not gonna, like, we're not worthy. Like, no, like it's literally, and it's crazy how Sarah described it, like, is this odorless, colorless poison inside of us.
It's like anthrax.
Yeah.
It's literally anthrax, y'all.
But it's just like, like your greatest, the greatest thing that will throw you off from your purpose is your mind.
Yo.
And that's real. And it's just like, it's so easy. It is so easy to praise God when everything is going right.
But when things get crazy.
When things get crazy, when you have no idea what's happening, when you have no idea how you're going to pay your bills and so whatever, it's be like, okay, this is when the doubt comes in. This is where, you
be asking yourself, like, yo, does the process know that I'm trusting it?
Yeah.
You be like, yo, do they know that? Like, I'm here. I'm trusting you. Like, I'm in this process. I'm out here, dog.
That's surrendering, though. That's surrendering. Because the enemy does not want you to do what feels good, what feels right, what feels aligned. So it's just like, it's surrendering. It's scary, but it's also like, yo, like I'm like, that's tomorrow's problem. Again, like all I can do is just worry about today. Like do what I can today, and then whatever, tomorrow I'm gonna do what I can tomorrow, the day after, do what I can then. But yeah, I mean, this whole concept of surrender, I do talk about that a lot, but it's not. Again, I want to make sure I emphasize that it's not just when things are going good. It's also surrendering when things aren't, because that's when you need to the most. And that's when, like, because that's when the enemy is going to attack you the most. It's just like, is you telling yourself you're not worthy, you're not valuable.
And you are,
girl. Okay. Everyone here, everyone listening, watching, everyone was literally born with a purpose, a mission. Everything. Never feel like you are, like you weren't.
Okay. Listen, I know we're talking about God, but I forget what rapper said. I think it's 4 Milli, who's like, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am that. I really have to be saying that to myself. Like, I be trying to have like an Issa Rae moment in the mirror. Like, girl, you go crazy right now, but that you all them things. I am wealthy, I am rich, I am that.
Seriously.
Yo, facts.
I tell myself that all the time, and I'm like, yo, like, a lot of people, they're just like, Delilah, she's just so happy, she's so joyful, she's so this, she's so that.
Delilah got things going on, but Delilah is also doing the things.
Yeah, it is. Like, yo, I'm like, there's a lot of BS I'm dealing with, but I'm like, I'm not gonna give that energy. I'm not gonna.
Why? For what?
Exactly.
For what? It ain't worth it. Ooh, honey. Y'all, we get into a good conversation here. I needed this. This is like better than like wine. Okay, maybe
I should have had wine here though, because we probably would have been a little bit more loosey goosey. But I think we're gonna start having wine, or maybe a little bit alcohol moving forward.
You're gonna need a little wine down in here.
I know, but all right. So I'm gonna show you a picture.
Oh God, y'all. Let's see the photo.
All right. So what will you tell this version?
God, are these lashes good?
So I am showing Carla a picture of little Carla right now.
I think I was like 3 or 4. It's something about turning 30 that makes you want to cry. Like, what is it?
30s are lit, okay? So I want you to hold this picture and just think of little Carla. Because I know I kind of touched on earlier how there's a lot of poison that tries to get in our head from the time we're little girls, and then try to hold us back from our purpose, from our mission. But
this is
something you
I was trying not to cry today. There's a lot I could say to God. There's a lot I could say to her. What the doctors tell you is not the final say. That's the first thing. Because when I was younger, and this is where a lot of my health things came from, I got diagnosed with epilepsy, and I was on steroids, and I had gained so much weight as a child, and that's why I've been dealing with my up and down with my weight loss journey. I would tell her that first. I would tell her how beautiful she is. Oh, dang.
Look at her. Look at her. Don't look at
Oh, guys. Dang on it. She got me good. She got me good. I'm going to hold it out. I'm going to tough it out. You are so beautiful. You're going to do incredible things. I want you to also remember the verse from Ephesians 3:20. It's a song, actually. It's that God will do things exceedingly and abundantly above all things that we ask for. Everything that your dad told you about yourself, everything your mother told you about yourself, how incredible you are, they are right. They are so, so right. You are going to grow to be an incredible woman that's going to love herself no matter the shape, size, or destination. Oh, God. I have so many things I want to say to her. Oh, there's so many things I want to say to this little girl. Oh, my goodness. Those business plans that you drew up when you were like 3 or 4 years old, they're happening for you right now in this season. And most importantly, hags, have a great summer. No, kidding. No, I want you to be okay with redefining how you discover happiness within yourself again and again. I would tell her that. It doesn't mean that you have to wait for love. It doesn't mean that you have to have a big fancy house. It doesn't mean you have to have the fancy like bags or designers or all of those things. It's like funny enough, for the business, my tagline is helping brands redefine stories on and offline. And I've realized that it's so important to redefine your story. More importantly, your happiness again and again, no matter the season. So I would tell her all those things. And also I would say to her, I love you. Aww. I love you deep. So, y'all, she trying to get me. She trying to get me, but I'm holding on to these lashes I just put on.
I have one more photo to show you.
God, that was good. That was good.
I have one more photo to show you.
Child, not another photo. Are we serious right now? Who's this? Who is this? Dang, y'all. Okay, who's that?
What do you think your father would want to tell you right now?
Oh, now she did it.
Just showed her a picture of her dad.
Y'all, it's his birthday next week.
A fellow Taurus.
Yeah, he's a fellow Taurus.
When's his birthday?
May 15th.
Okay.
Right. Funny enough, him and my grandfather have the same birthday. This one got me. He would say, I'm so proud of you. Dang it. Oh, God, guys. He said, I'm so proud of you. I love you so much. He would say, you still owe me that daggone mac and cheese your mama made. How'd you make it? He will also say, there's a thing I always say every time I visit his grave, that every time I be looking up and you be looking out. And he's like, I'm looking out for you. He's like, things that I couldn't do for you in this lifetime, I'm making sure they happen for you, although I'm not there. So he would say all those things, and oh God, I swear I would never say this name, but he would call me my little nickname that my family called me. He'd say, Mooch, I'm so proud of you. So y'all, I wasn't supposed to cry today. What is this? I'm not supposed to cry today. I think another thing that he would say to me is that he's coming. Like that man that you said, I couldn't be all those things for you as a father, but I just want to let you know that the husband that you need, like he's coming. He would say that. So daggone it! I wasn't supposed to cry.
I'm not sorry, but this is part
She's
of
not sorry. She's not sorry, guys. Thank God this lash glue was good. Woo! Okay, do we have any more photos? Because I don't know if I can take this.
That was it. I just want to make sure. I mean, I know your dad,
he was so big. Yeah, he played a big role actually in me starting my business. He was a businessman himself.
Yeah. And I just want to make sure that, you listen to him, you still feel him and you still hear him, because you have been achieving a lot of milestones. And I know, obviously, you would want him to be here to celebrate these milestones with you.
Absolutely.
But even if those moments when you have those milestones, like, okay, what would my dad say to me right now?
It's so crazy because I always have these moments where I'm like, Dad, I want to call him about this idea. Or, what would he say? And I could just feel his energy of getting the excitement. And that excitement would also happen for me. Like, oh, my God, I'm so excited about this thing. And I feel like I'm about to burst almost. And I'm like, oh, that's him. But I feel like he would say so many things to me in this moment. But if nothing else, he would say is like, whatever you want, you can have. Like, he was always a big proponent of, you deserve everything. Don't take no for an answer. If they say no, there's someone else who's going to say yes. Whatever you want, you'll have. Whatever you need, it's already there. He would say all those things. And if nothing else, he would be cheesing from ear to ear for just, even if I sold a t-shirt, he'd be like, that's my baby. She sold a t-shirt and I want a t-shirt too. So he would be very proud. I miss him, but I always know he's like with me. So it's this felt like a hug just now. Oh, how dare she make me cry? Like, what is this? Are we serious right now?
We're all just compiling. My ears coming off. My lash coming off.
Lashes is hanging on 10. Like, are we serious right now? Oh my God. Oh, that was good.
Well, I'm very proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
Proud of the woman you're becoming.
Okay.
Cannot wait to see all the milestones you're going to achieve and continue to achieve. I'm always going to be rooting for you.
I need you to write that down as an affirmation. Yeah. Like, you need to say that at night. I know you have a morning one.
Yeah.
You need to repeat that at night for yourself.
Yeah, I look in the mirror. I am proud of you.
Yes.
Yeah. And for everyone listening or you're watching, remind yourselves. Do the Issa Rae in the mirror. Like, I'm proud of you, girl. Like,
do like Flo Milli. I am healthy.
I'm wealthy. I'm rich. I'm that bitch.
Period. Okay.
And on that note, thank you for tuning in for yet another episode of Jefatona. Sorry, not sorry. I made you cry.
It's okay. Love you, mean it.
I love you forever.
XOXO.
Thank you for tuning into the Jefatona podcast. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Like, subscribe, and maybe leave a review or two. Until next time, love you. Bye.